Have you ever heard the legend of the disappearing door? In the heart of the city, tucked away in a forgotten alley behind the old textile mill, a door appears. It's not there one day, and then on the eve of the winter solstice, it materializes out of thin air. It's an old, heavy wooden door with an ornate iron knocker and a keyhole, but no handle. For 24 hours, it stands there, silent and locked, an impossible fixture against a solid brick wall. The legend isn't just about its appearance, but about what happens when it opens. It's said that every year, one person, and only one, finds the door unlocked. Driven by a curiosity they can't explain, they step inside. They are never seen again that night. The door vanishes the next day, as if it were never there. The alley returns to its grimy, unremarkable self. But the story doesn't end there. The people who enter are always seen again. Months, sometimes a year later, they return to their lives. They look the same, they sound the same, but everyone who knew them can tell that something is fundamentally wrong. There was the story of a young artist named Leo. He was vibrant, full of life, his laughter echoing in every cafe he visited. He was the one who vanished one solstice night. When he returned 6 months later, the laughter was gone. When he returned 6 months later, the laughter was gone. He still painted, but his canvases, once bursting with color, were now filled with unsettling monochrome landscapes of places no one recognized. He'd stare at his own reflection for hours, as if trying to recognize the person staring back. His friend said it was like his soul had been replaced with a faint gray echo. Then there was Alara, a brilliant university student known for her sharp wit and photographic memory. She disappeared into the door and came back a year later to the day. She could still recall complex scientific formulas, but she couldn't remember her own mother's face. She lost all emotional connection. She'd talk about her childhood memories like she was reading from a textbook about a stranger. The warmth in her eyes was gone, replaced by a chillingly detached intelligence. It was as if the part of her that felt joy, sadness, and love had been surgically removed. The theories about the door are as numerous as the city's cobblestones. Some believe it's a gateway to a parallel universe, a world that's a near-perfect copy of our own, but with a fatal flaw. In this other world, maybe emotions are a currency, or perhaps individuality is a disease. When people return, they bring back a piece of that broken world with them. They are like flawed reflections, imperfect copies of their former selves. Others whisper that the door leads to a place outside of time, a realm where a cosmic entity studies humanity. It plucks a subject, dissects their very essence, their memories, their personality, their spirit, and then reassembles them, but never quite correctly. The person who comes back is just a reconstruction, a doll put back together by a being that doesn't understand what makes a human whole. They are returned as a test, an experiment left to wander among us. The city archives have hushed accounts dating back over a century. A watchmaker who returned unable to perceive the passage of time. A singer who came back with a beautiful voice but could only sing songs in a language no one on earth had ever heard. A baker whose bread was a culinary masterpiece, but who had forgotten the taste of food himself. Each story is a new verse in this haunting urban legend. They all went in and they all came out wrong. The local authorities officially deny its existence. They attribute the disappearances to runaways and the strange reappearances to trauma or mental health crises. But those who live in the neighborhood know better. Every year, on the eve of the winter solstice, a small, quiet crowd gathers at the end of the alley, not to try the door, oh no. They've learned that lesson. They come to watch, to bear witness, to see if the legend will claim another soul. They are drawn by a mixture of fear and a morbid need to see if it's real. The mystery has always been about who goes in. What drags a person to turn that non-existent handle and step into the unknown? Is it desperation, a thirst for adventure? Or is it a pull from the door itself, a siren song only one person a year is destined to hear? For decades, the focus has been on the victim, the one who enters. The question was always who will go in this year. But this year, the legend is about to change. As the solstice sun dips below the horizon and the first stars prick the velvet sky, the door materializes as it always does. The crowd holds its breath, but the silence is different. There's a tension in the air, a static charge that makes the hairs on your arms stand up. No one dares to approach. The crowd just watches from the shadows, their breath misting in the cold. Hours pass. Midnight comes and goes. The door remains. But then, just as the first hint of dawn threatens the eastern sky, a sound breaks the stillness, a low, grinding creak. It's not the sound of a lock being turned or a key being found. It's the sound of ancient hinges, unused for an eternity, groaning under an immense weight. Slowly, impossibly, the door begins to open, but it's opening inward into the alley. The crowd shrinks back, a collective gasp sucked from their lungs. All these years, people have been going in. No one ever considered, what if something came out? The question is no longer, who will the door take? Now, the terrifying, world-altering question is, what has the door brought back for us? The darkness beyond the threshold is absolute, but from within that inky blackness, a shape begins to emerge. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like or share and subscribe and leave a comment or follow for more folklore legends.